You're listening to the Word of Mouth Marketing Podcast by Best Company. It's growth done right.
Hey, today we're going to talk to Chris Milone from Best Egg. He's the CMO and has over 20 years experience marketing and growing FinTech and other businesses. He's going to talk to us about being crystal clear with our mission, building a great culture, and how specifically to be customer-centric. Stick around for the end where I'll summarize 3 specific action items you can utilize right now to grow your business in the most authentic way possible. So put on your earbuds, turn on noise canceling because you're going to want to hear every last word. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Todd Jensen, and today I am really excited for the opportunity to speak to Chris Milone, the Chief Marketing Officer at Best Egg. Welcome to the podcast, Chris.
Todd, great to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
First, I want to get to know you a little bit. So tell us all a little bit about your journey.
Yeah, my journey, I think, is an interesting one. I've been in financial services, got about 20 years of experience. And I sort of fumbled my way into marketing, I would say. So I actually studied chemical engineering in college.
No kidding.
And then
Chris, brainiacs like you are not supposed to be in marketing with us. All right, you make us all look bad.
I'm not sure that's right. I think, I think the marketing landscape has changed a lot in the last roughly 20 years. So I came out of college kind of during the .com boom, and found my way into marketing really through technology and analytics. And early on, those tools and data, they were just very unsophisticated. And I started my career at HSBC in their kind of fledgling digital team. And then I worked my way from there to Barclays, spent a fair amount of time there. And then I ended up taking a little bit of a detour into retail with a company called ShopRunner, and I was the CMO there for a few years. What I loved about ShopRunner is they were trying to organize retailers, big retailers, Neiman Marcus, Saks, etc., to take on Amazon Prime.
Wow.
And really come up with a solution to compete. And so it was kind of like banding everybody in the old brick and mortar world together to go and fight this new enemy that they had. So that was a lot of fun, but eventually I got tired of watching so many exciting things happen in FinTech, and I found myself looking at that space and thinking, wow, that would be really fun to get into, and found my way here to Best Egg, which is not only a great company to work at, but it's extremely convenient, local to my house. Like there's all sorts of great positives for me about being at Best Egg personally as well as professionally.
Well, help us get to know you personally a little bit. What kinds of things do you like to do, Chris?
Yeah, so I like to do many things. I mostly only do 2 things in my personal time, though, these days. And I'm a father of 3. I've got a 12-year-old daughter, 10-year-old twin boys, and most of my time is taken up coaching travel baseball for my twins and attending softball games for my daughter on the weekends and practice nearly every night of the week. So really rewarding activities. I find a lot of the leadership things you deal with in coaching, even small children, carry over into the workplace. And so I think it's a different mindset, but in many ways you can take lessons from both and apply them to each. When I'm not practicing baseball or coaching it, though I am a runner. So this is the 3rd year in a row I'm going to run the Philadelphia Marathon.
Fantastic.
I'm deep in that training now. It's sort of just a challenge for myself. It's also great because the Philly Marathon's the weekend before Thanksgiving. So I have a younger brother. He comes out and runs it with me every year. So it's just something we get to do together, and it's also just a lot of fun and a great challenge physically, which is something I like to do. I'm a very competitive person. Uh, most of Best Egg would tell you that because we have contests, and I tend to win my fair share of them.
Well, thank you for giving us a little bit of taste of a day in the life of Chris. But let's pivot a little bit over to Best Egg. Tell us a
Sure.
little bit about Best Egg and a little bit of their history and their mission,
Yeah.
and let's explore a little bit of what they do.
Yeah, so Best Egg is it's definitely not an egg company, which is something we get a lot. There is no omelets being made at Best Egg or anything.
So
We are a Best Egg is a fintech that was founded approximately 10 years ago. We're getting close to that anniversary time. Um, and it's really a company focused on a specific customer. Our customer is someone with limited savings, and our mission is to give them both the products and the financial tools that they need to navigate their financial life with confidence. And that's actually our company tagline. Our company tagline is "Be Money Confident." And that's what we're going for. So whether that's a personal loan, which was our only product for the first 7 or so years of our existence, or if it's a financial health monitoring tool that can help you navigate your everyday finances. Whatever those customers need, that's what we're looking to provide.
that's fantastic. And looking at your best company profile, uh, your customers seem to agree that they are able to get a loan with confidence because your
Yeah.
reviews have been fantastic on Best Company, and it's been really impressive. So elaborate a little bit more about some specific factors, Chris, that you think that have contributed to Best Egg's success over the last nearly a decade.
Yeah, I think if we go back to the beginning, we were an early fintech, and I think a lot of the fintechs leaned very heavily tech, less on the fin side, if you will. So one of the things that we were blessed with is we had a management team with rich experience. Many of them had worked together at Barclays here in Wilmington, 20 plus years of experience across credit and just financial services in general. And what we were able to do early on was build a reputation for strong risk management. And I think even today, you see many fintech players that they haven't figured that part out. That's kind of like the last thing they figured out. It was the first thing we did. And so our reputation was always very strong, and that helped us with our capital markets partners as well. And so what that allowed us to do with that reputation established was really scale the business a little quicker and get to profitability faster. So we weren't one of these companies that took on a lot of VC money and just grew unprofitably over time. We got to profitability quickly. We've maintained that. We've grown that a lot over the last 10 years. And now we're starting to scale to a place where we're really proud. We've had 2 record years in a row.
Wow.
Last year we booked $7.5 billion in personal loan. We generated 1.3 million accounts. The scale of the business has really accelerated a lot. I think the other thing I would talk about in terms of what's allowed us to get there is, and I'll just go back to that founding team. That founding team, they looked at work and working in big banks and the pace of decision making and sort of the red tape that you would see there, and they just said, "Hey, we don't want to work like this. There's got to be a better way to do it." And so they broke off on their own, started this company. And from the very beginning, they focused a lot on what is the culture we want to create? How do we want to treat our people? What are we going to be about in terms of the employee value proposition? And not just compensation, but what are the behaviors we want people to have when they come to work? And let's make sure we're hiring those folks that exhibit those behaviors, right? And I think what you've seen is, we're a best workplace award winner every year essentially, and we've won all sorts of awards for our culture. And I think that's really what separates us from a lot of the other players in the space and from the big banks themselves, which candidly is where we attract a lot of talent. It's a lot of people like us who have worked a certain way and they realize there's a better way. And I think Best Egg provides that better way.
What other differentiators do you see, Chris, that really set Best Egg apart?
Yeah, I think the one that comes up for me right away is just how we think about our customer, and how everything we do is centered around them and their needs, right? So if you understand your customer and you know what they're about and you listen to them, you just make better products over time. And we've done a number of things to even amplify that focus. So we hired a chief customer officer in 2021 because while it was a focus for all of us, we felt like it should be somebody's specific day job to be the voice of the customer within the company. We have our own community. We have our own ambassador program, right? So we're able to talk to our customers all the time and say, hey, this is something we're thinking about. Is this a value to you? Is this something that would help you in your day-to-day life? And for me, that's one of the big ones, right? That is, if you can have that at the core of what you're doing, you're just going to be far more successful. Another thing is we're iterating all the time. So it's not, we don't just come up with, hey, what's the next big product? What's the next huge idea? No, there's a lot of folks whose day-to-day job is just, let's try to make this process 3% better, 5% better. And you stack up all those wins over 10 years and you end up with something that's really fundamentally different than what everyone's experiencing elsewhere in the market, right? So, going back to your previous question, even like how did we get going in the beginning? Part of it was there were all these lending products that big banks offered that the process is just super slow. I mean, it was just, if you think about a home equity line of credit, even today, that is a 4 to 8 week process. And 4 is, by the way, optimistic. It is a long journey if you're trying to get that product. Our products, particularly our unsecured personal loan, you're going to get your money, you're going to have money in your bank account in less than 24 hours, almost every time.
Wow.
Right. So if you're qualified for our product, you're going to get it fast. And most of the time, that's what our customer needs, just to bring it back to them. They have little to no savings, something pops up. They can't wait 8 weeks for a loan. They might have a medical bill to pay or a car repair bill, something like that. And they need that money. They need it fast. And so us and others in our industry have been able to provide that. And I think that's changed the game for everybody in some way, shape, or form in terms of customer expectation.
One thing that I notice in addition to that is really this focus on financial education and an investment in your customers and empowering them. Will you tell us a little bit more about your focus on educating and providing resources?
Yeah, I think when you bring it back to our mission, which is to give people financial confidence, um, you can't achieve that, that goal, uh, just by providing products, right? So if I just give you a loan, that doesn't really give you confidence. What you need is, in some ways, advice. In other ways, an understanding of where you are and where you want to go financially, right? So what is the picture of your financial situation? That's something we want to be able to clearly articulate to people in layman's terms, right? So for example, we offer credit monitoring as a free service for any customer, or anyone. You don't have to have a lending product or anything. You could just go to bestegg.com right now. We will give you your credit score for free. But you can get your credit score now anywhere, right? You can go to almost any credit card issuer, Credit Karma, all sorts of services provide that for free. We want to go another level, beyond that, right? So we want to be able to explain every time your credit score moves, not in technical terms, why it moved, but in layman's terms, right? So that we can help you along your way to improve it. Another thing we look at is, and this, by the way, this all comes from our customers. It's always from our customer. Hey, I don't understand. We hear from them. I don't understand why my credit score moved. Even though we would explain, we would have credit bureau reasons, and things that we would share with them. They just didn't get it, which is what would lead us to build these products that we built. Another one is around debt, and we call it Debt Manager. And what the product is really all about is helping get you on a plan to get to the debt level that you want to be, right? Operating at. And not everybody even expects to be debt free, by the way. They just want good advice about how to manage their debt. And we feel like we do a good job with that. Other people want to get completely out of debt. And I think this is what separates us in many ways from others in the space. We're happy to help you, right? There are debt strategies that you can look at on our website. Snowball, Avalanche, things you could read about if you're trying to get out of debt. We make that easy. And again, that's tied to our mission, right? If our mission was to sell you another product all the time, um, that's not going to give you any financial confidence, right? Helping you get out of debt and giving you the tools and the resources to do it, that's really what our mission is. And if that means, by the way, that you pay off your loan with us and we don't see you again ever, or for a very long time until something happens, that's okay. That's okay. That's what our mission is about, and those are the services that we want to provide.
I love that. It reminds me of a commercial I saw just recently about a relationship app or a
Yeah,
dating app, and they said, "Hey, our goal, we're the app to be deleted. We want to
yeah,
introduce you to a healthy relationship, and so that you don't need us anymore." And
yes,
what a great customer centric view that is, and it feels like being consistent with your mission. We want to give you confidence
yeah,
in your finances, and that means, if that means debt free and you don't need us, fantastic.
that's right.
And I think that's such a great approach. It's one of the things that really differentiated you as we were looking at all the companies that submitted for our Companies to Watch award. There were three specifically that we really, really loved. And Best Egg was one of those.
Yeah.
Really top shelf elite group there. And so help us understand, why is Best Egg one of the companies to watch?
Yeah, I think it's three things for me at the highest level, right? One is, um, just the simple business performance, right? Our growth has been tremendous. We've had 2 record years in a row. Last year, we booked $7.5 billion worth of loans. In America, 1.3 million accounts. Like those are big numbers, and they're growing. We've also launched several new products that are just hitting the market. One, it allows people to pay their rent over time, for example. And that one came from an acquisition. It's a really exciting company. So I would say there we're making moves, and that makes us somewhat interesting. The second area is our culture. I think we built a team that is the envy of the space in many ways in FinTech. And I think we've continued to invest in growing our people, investing in their growth, making sure they have the right opportunities, making sure we take this business to the next level. But also just creating an ecosystem in which people like coming to work every day, which I think is not the way a lot of companies think about it. It definitely is the way that we do. And then the third, I think, is our focus on the customer. I think for us, we know who we want to serve. We can be very clear about that, and it's a compelling mission. I think if you think about some products that are out there, like we have a product we call vehicle equity loan, and that product it's a secured product. It's for people with little to no savings, again, who have a car, and they aren't able to get credit generally anywhere they would want to. So these are folks who might be ripe to get something like a title loan. And title loans have interest rates of 300-400%. We're able to give them something much, much better than that, generally about 1/10 of that interest rate, right? And so things like that, where we can really help people, I think that's what gets me excited. That's what gets our team excited. Just knowing who our customers are, getting to hear from them, and getting to hear how we make an impact in their lives, truly, that to me is what makes us one to watch.
You said a word in your answer there, excited. And let me ask you about that. As you look down the road and around the corner a little bit, what gets you the most excited?
Yeah, I think what gets me excited is, first of all, it's the trajectory that we're on, right? So what I see is a company that started from one product and made that a very successful business, made a bunch of good decisions along the way. And now we're a multi-product business. And what that means is, to me, is we had this target customer that was people with little to no savings, and we couldn't serve them all, right? So because we couldn't give them all loans that were unsecured, because there were some folks that just their credit didn't allow them to be served by us. Now we have a full suite of products. So it's not just about lending products. It's about advice. It's about trying to help people on their journey, trying to help them build their borrowing power, trying to help them do things that they weren't able to do in their lives before, right? Meet those moments where something went wrong and it was unexpected, and have them be able to navigate that with confidence, and not have to go somewhere for a terrible option because there are no products in the market to serve them, right? So for me, it's about building our business and getting the products right for our customers, but also just trying to, again, do good in the world and be of service to people who just oftentimes just need a helping hand and a company that will believe in them. And that's what we want to be. And I think if you're a customer of ours and you interact with us over the phone, or even if you have one of our products and you need help, you need flexibility in your payment options, we're here for you. And I think just that mindset and culture really sets us up well to have a great, say, next 10 years.
I've got an opportunity here, Chris, with someone like you, a CMO with lots of life and professional experience, a lot of business experience. If I were to run into you on an elevator, or somebody were to bump into you and ask, okay, what's some advice that you would give, both on a personal level, but also as a company, what advice would you give to a person, and what advice would you give to a company that's seeking to grow in their industry?
Yeah. So on the person, hopefully this has come through in our conversation. On the personal front, I think it's, if you can find somewhere to work with a mission you believe in, that you're proud of every day, you're on the right track. And the best way to think about that I've ever heard, and I'm stealing this from a former boss of mine, but is, I never want to work at a company where I wouldn't wear the t-shirt, where I wouldn't wear the company swag and wear it proudly. And if you find yourself in one of those, you're probably in the wrong spot. So just a way to reflect on where you're at and how you're feeling about it, right? On the company side, I've had enough experience now with strategy in various businesses to know that I think that the biggest key thing is, it's not about articulating your strategy and having that just be clear to people. It's connecting your strategy to your decision making, right? So if you have a clear strategy, that means you can say no to a lot of things, right? You can say, hey, that's not part of our strategy. For example, if someone in my company said, hey, I think we should get into wealth advice, like we should extend beyond, we're really good at giving advice. Let's take that up market. It's like, no, that's not our target customer. Our target customer has limited savings. It doesn't fit what we're trying to do. What we're trying to do, we understand well, and that allows us to make really good decisions that aren't distractions from serving our core customer, right? And so often I see companies they pivot, they haven't figured out who their core customer is, they're changing their strategy because it's not working, and oftentimes it's just the strategy is not clear. It's not that it's bad, it's just they're not implementing the thing they're actually saying is their strategy in the right way, and that causes distraction, and it causes you to make decisions that just don't lead you to the right place.
Chris, this has been an awesome conversation. I sure appreciate it. The background you've given about Best Egg and the advice that you've offered just confirms that we chose a great company to be one of those top 3 companies to watch. So thanks again, Chris.
Thanks for having me, Todd. And on behalf of everybody at Best Egg, we're honored to be selected. And it's been a great conversation. I've really enjoyed it.
Thanks again, Chris, and thanks for everybody for watching. We'll see you later. Sweet. Now let's distill 3 key takeaways for growing your business. First, Best Egg has a crystal clear mission, and they know who their customer is and who their customer isn't. Their mission: help customers be money confident. Who's their customer? Those who have limited savings. This clarity means they know what they're trying to do and who they're trying to do it for, meaning they can take on certain projects or say no to others. Next, build a company culture where people like coming to work. It sounds simple, but just like with their customers, by listening to their employees and investing in the things they care about, it means they'll be able to attract great people and keep them on board. Finally, be truly customer-centric. Invest in things that your customers care about. In this case, it means educational tools and resources, because many of their customers want to eventually be debt-free. So even though it means that if they help their customers become debt-free, they won't be selling them things for their entire lives, they're okay with that. It reminds me of a t-shirt that I once got at a trade show. It said, "Customer success is our strategy." And Best Egg puts this mentality into action. So that's it. Start implementing these 3 tips so you can enjoy authentic growth.
We know you're busy, so from us at Best Company, thank you for listening to the Word of Mouth Marketing Podcast. Want to leverage more concrete strategies, real-life examples, and practical tools? Then hit that subscribe button for growth done right.